Hi there. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, 5:34. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds, and a fairly good start to the day, which is good news from the standpoint of the drive.
But we've got some active weather on the way. Take a look at this radar region throughout the day tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in your long-range forecast. But first, here's Tom with traffic. Well, we are going to transition into rain fairly quickly from any kind of mixing that we could see or freezing rain. Once the system moves out through the overnight, we've got another system right on its heels. This one's going to just be bringing us the chance of a few isolated showers. Thursday, late day and into Friday, temperatures are going to be cooling down enough that we may actually see a little bit of mixing. And then on Friday, that leftover moisture could be bringing us a few isolated flurries with much colder temperatures. So tomorrow, we're only looking at a daytime high of 3. There's the potential for some mixing and flurries for Friday and staying below seasonal. Hi there. Good morning. Ooh, excuse me. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, and I guess I'm a little bit excited because temperatures are going to be warming up slightly today, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, we're heading up fairly nice temperatures this afternoon. The thing we have to get through right now is, of course, a little bit of approaching precipitation.
Yes, which is what we do have. By the way, we're Emily Vukovic and Tom Reynolds.
We are.
All right, before we get to Tom's traffic and your long-range forecast, take a look at this must-see video. Yeah, there is just so much snow that if you're going to plow it, why not sit on a toilet and do it? Really? All right, I got to figure out the backstory on this, but yeah, anyways. Your long range is coming up. Tom, did you see that?
I mean, I've heard of ballast, but that's ridiculous. A toilet? I'm not sure about that. I can't believe we just saw that. Right now, if you're heading out onto the highways, well,
it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared, right? So if, the roads are brined, well, then so be it. We do have rain on the way. It's going to help wash it all away, and that's going to continue through the better part of the afternoon and through this evening. Tomorrow, we've got a brand new system coming in. This one's also going to be bringing us showers, but it's staying mostly to our south. So places like Orangeville and up through Barrie may not see too much of it. What we can see is a bit of a transition Thursday overnight into Friday to a little bit of mixing, and then on Friday during the day, temperatures are going to be cold enough that we may actually pick up a few flurries, and then we're going to stay below seasonal right into the weekend. Thanks, Tom. Well, before we get to that, take a look at this must-see video. Talk about an extreme sport, extreme downhill skiing. Oh my goodness, I don't think I could ever imagine doing something like that. We've got the full story and the report coming up at 23 minutes past the hour, so stay with us for that. All right, for today, yes, Tom was mentioning we do have some precipitation. Right now, we're seeing it down towards the Windsor area. Some areas are picking up a little bit of freezing drizzle. It looks as though temperatures are going to warm up pretty rapidly, so we won't see too much of that. We do have a freezing rain warning in place, however, through Guelph and through London and through Cambridge. We are seeing this through Kitchener, through Waterloo, even towards Milton, but for the most part, it is going to be rain by the time it reaches Toronto, which is good news. 5 to 10 millimeters expected today and into tomorrow, so not a ton of rain with these next two systems. Once this one moves out, new one comes in throughout the day on Thursday, and temperatures are going to be cooling down significantly behind the cold front. So the leftover moisture that we could potentially be seeing for Friday could be transitioning into some flurries, not accumulating snow, but flurries and cold temperatures to get us right into the weekend. We're going to stay below seasonal. Hi there. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It is the 25th of March. We're looking at 4 minutes after 6 o'clock. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds, and a fairly good start to the day. There's a little precipitation off to the west of us, which may impact the drive somewhat, but right now it is looking good.
Yeah, if you take a look at the radar, you can see this Colorado low coming in through southern Ontario and belt. But man, could you imagine? That's what happens when you hit black ice. We've got more details on our forecast, but first, here's Tom. Well, as our temperatures warm up today, that risk of freezing rain diminishes, and we're just going to see showers throughout the afternoon. Temperatures getting warm up to 9 degrees. Tomorrow, new system coming in. On the back end of this, temperatures are going to be cooling down to the point where we may actually see some mixing late Thursday and into Friday. And then cold temperatures on Friday could give that lingering moisture a little bit of snow for us. Flurries. Not accumulation. We are, however, going to stay quite cool into the weekend. By Friday, we're looking at -1. Saturday, -1, but sunny. And a new clipper system coming in for the beginning of next week.
This weather.
Before we get to your forecast details, take a look at this must-see video. Now, this is what I call an extreme sport. This is extreme downhill skiing. You look at this and you think, no, it's not so bad. And then watch where he goes. Look at that. Look at that. That is insane. We're going to have the full report coming up for you in less than 10 minutes, so make sure you stick around for that. All right, we've got some rain on the way through Windsor. We've got a little bit of freezing drizzle as well. Temperatures, we're just hovering around that freezing mark. It doesn't look as though we're going to be seeing a whole lot of ice accretion, but some areas could see some slippery on-ramps, that kind of thing, so make sure you stay tuned to Tom's Traffic. You can follow him at Tom's Traffic, TWN, on Twitter. Freezing rain warning in place, not for the city of Toronto or through Hamilton, but through Kitchener, through London, through Guelph. We are going to be seeing the potential. Not a lot of ice accretion associated with this. We are going to be seeing showers throughout the day today and into tomorrow as well. 5 to 10 millimeters possible. I think the big story here is really just going to be our temperatures. They are staying cool. So we're going to be seeing 9 degrees today into that warm sector, and then we rapidly cool down behind the cold front. We have another system on the way for tomorrow. Temperatures again staying above the freezing mark but below seasonal, only a high of 3 degrees. Cooling down to the point on Friday that we could actually pick up a few isolated flurries. Watching that was probably one of the scariest things that I've ever done. That is incredible. I love people with that kind of bravery. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March. And before we get to your forecast details, take a look at this must-see video. This is another bit of bravery. All right, our forecast involves the potential for a little bit of ice, but not much. We do have a freezing rain potential. I'm saying potential because temperatures are hovering where they are. I mean, we do have a freezing rain warning in place, but the way I'm looking at it, this freezing rain warning is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it's going to be getting dropped because as soon as the sun comes up, our temperatures are going to warm up rapidly, and then we are going to be seeing any potential for freezing rain turn to just straight rain. So areas that we could see it through Guelph, through Cambridge, through Kitchener, through Waterloo, even in through Milton, so kind of north of the 401, we could be seeing that potential where we've got cooler temperatures and overcast skies sticking around. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain not only in today's system, but that includes tomorrow's system as well. 9 degrees is our daytime high today into that warm sector. But once that cold front moves through, we are going to be cooling down, and temperatures tomorrow with that new system hovering around 3 degrees, and we could even see some flurries come Friday. We'll talk more about that coming up. But first, here's Tom with an update on your traffic report. The potential for freezing rain. It's one of those things that's so temperature dependent. Yes, we're hovering around the freezing mark, and as you can see from the radar, we're seeing green, shot of pink, and then green again. So we're really seeing that kind of transition from back and forth. We still do have, as a precautionary measure, a freezing rain warning in place through Guelph, through Cambridge, through Kitchener, through Waterloo, even in through Milton. Anywhere kind of north of the 401 could see the potential, but we're not looking at a lot of ice accretion. We've got about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain on the way in today's system, and that includes tomorrow's system as well. And then temperatures will be dropping off behind it, and we could see the potential for some flurries by the time the weekend rolls around. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, 44 minutes past 6 o'clock. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds. That makes it hump day, doesn't it? It's Wednesday, halfway through the work week. Yeah, good. Well, you know, it's actually a pretty good drive out there. We were sort of anticipating, we weren't sure exactly the timing on this freezing drizzle. Yeah. And it seems like it's going to go after the rush hour.
It looks as though, and we may not even see any of it. Right. Because when the sun rises, I mean, temperatures are going to be warming up significantly. So Guelph, everybody has, you know, the chance of seeing some freezing drizzle, but I think it's going to be unlikely at this point.
Well, it looks like, you know, down in Windsor, it froze freezing rain for a nanosecond, and then it changed back into rain, and now they've canceled the Lambton buses down through that area, which is actually my granddaughter. Yeah. But the thing is that, just in case, but I don't think it's going to be a rain event. No. I mean, or a freezing rain event.
It will be a rain event, if anything. We're going to join Kevin. He's in Kitchener this morning, and I know, Kevin, that you're there kind of in anticipation of if we do see that freezing drizzle, Kitchener is kind of one of the places that will see some. That's good news for everybody. Thanks so much for that, Kevin. Before we get to your long range and your traffic, take a look at this awesome video. This guy is so brave. I would never in a bazillion years do this. He is extreme downhill skiing to the max. Look at the rock faces that he's skiing in between. No thanks. And we've got the full report coming up at 23 after, and Tom, at the end of it, he goes, "That was just the scariest thing I've ever done in my life."
Yeah, and I hit my elbows twice when I was going down there. I've still got marks.
Don't tell me.
Right now. Right now.
The freezing rain potential, maybe. Temperatures for us are going to go up to 9 degrees today. So if we do see any kind of freezing drizzle, it'll be north of the 401, up through Newmarket, potentially through Milton. But then it'll transition to straight showers. We've got another system coming in tomorrow. We could see about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain in total. Colder conditions as we get into the weekend.
This weather's...
Good morning. I'm Emily Vukovic taking a look at your long-range forecast. We are going to be seeing the potential for a little bit of mixing this weekend. I know we've gone from kind of spring to winter, rising temperatures, falling temperatures, but you know what? That is exactly what happens through the month of March. So this is really no big surprise. Not to say that it's welcome when you see a pattern map that looks like this. We've got a huge dip in the jet stream, so we are going to be seeing a lot of cold Arctic air coming in. We've got a mild morning for tomorrow, but temperatures are going to be dropping throughout the day behind a cold front, and we are going to see some PM mixing, potentially kind of evening, overnight, and then temperatures really drop throughout the day on Friday. So we are going to be seeing fairly frigid conditions and flurries in the forecast. Now for Saturday, we'll see more in the way of sunshine, but it is going to be cold. We're looking at another weekend of below seasonal values. Sunday, we've got a clipper on the way, and this could be bringing us maybe some mixing as we get into the later part of the day. The winds are also going to be picking up. And unfortunately, I wish I had better news for early April. I really do, but I don't. We are going to continue to see that cold pattern. We've got that dip in the jet stream sticking around, and the cold air is just going to continue to filter in from the north. Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, 4 minutes after 7 o'clock. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds, and looking pretty good from the drive. We've got a problem on the 401. We'll show you that. But the precipitation seems to be holding off, which is good news.
Yeah, if we take a look at the radar, you can see it, which
good.
Is good news for commuters. Now, we're going to quickly check in with Kevin Yard. He is in Kitchener this morning. Kevin, Kitchener could see some freezing drizzle, and I see you're prepared with your umbrella.
See if this...
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, you will need your umbrella today. Before we get to our forecast details, take a look at this really cool video. This was very cool. Imagine seeing that. You'd think aliens are coming. Long range details are coming up, but first, here's Tom. Well, now that the sun has risen, temperatures are going to be warming up significantly, so that risk of freezing drizzle certainly goes down. Our daytime high today, 9 degrees. We are going to be seeing that cold front pass through later on tonight. New system coming through tomorrow, but colder temperatures. We're only looking at a high of about 3 degrees for tomorrow. Tomorrow overnight and into Friday, there is the potential for a little bit of mixing, so fairly slippery road conditions possible. And then for Saturday and into Sunday, we stay below seasonal right through the end of the weekend. Yeah, temperatures are so marginal right now. We're really hovering around that freezing mark in many areas. So it's mostly rain right now down towards Windsor, but that could change, as Tom was mentioning. Freezing rain warning is in place for many areas north of the 401, so it doesn't look like we're going to have to worry about this along the lakeshore and through the downtown core. We're looking at about 5 to 10 millimeters in today and tomorrow's system, so not a ton of rain, but I think it'll help melt all of those, dirty snowbanks we have lingering around. 9 degrees is our daytime high today, and tomorrow much cooler behind that cold front, only getting up to 3, and by Friday we could be picking up a few isolated flurries. Well, this Colorado low starting to come in through Windsor, just on the doorstep of London. For the most part, it is rain, but because temperatures are marginally hovering around the freezing mark, we could see some freezing rain, and this is why we do have a freezing rain warning in place through Guelph, through London, through Cambridge, through Kitchener, through Milton, areas just north of the 401. It looks as though downtown, anywhere along the lakeshore through Hamilton and in through the Niagara region, St. Catharines, it is going to be primarily rain, so we don't have to worry too much about that. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain expected from today's system and into tomorrow's system. 9 degrees is our daytime high today. 3 is our daytime high tomorrow, with temperatures dropping tomorrow overnight. Could see some flurries on Friday. Hi there. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, 44 minutes past 7 o'clock. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds, and what she said. Yes, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, but the thing is, it's nice, is we're not seeing much precipitation.
Not yet.
And because the temperatures are such, it's good news too.
Yeah, that almost looks like blue sky outside our Oakville
Well,
studios,
it
doesn't
is.
it?
I mean, we're seeing a bit of sunshine. I mean, there is some cloud on the way, of course, as you'll see on the radar.
Here it is. I mean, some areas north of the 401, you know, up into the escarpment potentially, but for the most part, I think it's going to be mostly rain.
Yeah, by the looks of it, Georgetown might get a little bit. Up in Orangeville may see maybe a little bit, but it's not going to last long. The temperature's going up to, you know, plus temperatures.
9 degrees today. Let's join Kevin Yard. He is in Kitchener this morning. And Kevin, I don't know, you've had a real roller coaster of temperatures as of late. Yesterday, you were wearing your parka and a toque, and today, you've dressed down a little bit. That must feel good. Thanks so much, Kevin. All right, before we get to our forecast, take a look at this awesome video. Talk about bravery. I would never in a million zillion years even contemplate doing something like this. This is taking extreme downhill skiing to the limit. When he comes out of this little crevice, he says, wow, that was scary. Yeah. Full report coming up at 23 minutes past the hour. Now here's Tom with traffic.
It was scary. I said that. My elbows took a beating going down there. That's narrow, I'll tell you. I'm not exactly, you know, right now let's go and have a look as you head out onto the highways.
Rain on the way today, but mild temperatures. 9 degrees is our daytime high. We cool down significantly through the overnight. We might see some mixing to start us off tomorrow morning with a new system approaching to the south, and then a few flurries lingering for Friday. Good morning. It is the Wednesday. It is the 25th of March. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's 4 minutes past 8 o'clock. I'm Emily Vukovic.
I'm Tom Reynolds, and a fairly good start to the day out there. The rain's holding off long enough that it shouldn't impact our drive at all from the standpoint of our AM rush hour. Midday could be a little bit wet out there.
A little bit wet, maybe a little bit icy in some spots. You can see on the radar. But for the most part, temperatures are just going to be too warm today.
Well, yeah, the sun's up. I mean, if it had come in before the sunrise, we might have seen more ice accretion, but it doesn't look like we're seeing any ice out there at all, really.
Well, let's check in with Kevin. He is in Kitchener this morning, in one of the places that could potentially see a little bit of freezing drizzle. And for right now, Kevin, you're not as dressed as heavily as you were yesterday for winter weather. I think he's frozen. Is he going to unfreeze before we go to him? Doesn't appear so. Okay,
it's
never mind.
So cold he froze. No, actually, just a little bit of a data problem. But nonetheless, it is. He's down in Kitchener. We're sort of anticipating some, but it really doesn't look like it's going to be a big deal.
No, it really doesn't. And he's dressed kind of a little bit lighter than he was yesterday. Remember yesterday he had his parka on with a toque? Yeah,
it's nice to get rid of the weight of these clothes.
Really. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, you've got a double whammy.
I can't even close my winter jacket anymore. It's not funny. I need it to be spring. I need to wear flip-flops and dresses.
Well, you look lovely.
Thanks.
Yeah, you do.
Let's take a look at this must-see video. This is a really awesome video, actually, and it's very safe. What happened was, don't laugh, Tom, it's not funny. A bus was sinking in Brazil. Everybody got off board. The bus was evacuated, but then it was sucked into a sinkhole and then got carried away down the river. Unbelievable. Is that not crazy? All right, we'll talk more about our long-range forecast, but first, here's Tom. It's not funny, Tom.
No, if they were on board, it would have been serious, no doubt about it. Luckily they got off. Goodness gracious. Let's go and have a look on the highways. We have no sinkholes that we're aware of. They fixed that one on Eglinton, which is good. Looking pretty good.
Not a ton of rain. We're only looking at about 5 to 10 millimeters for the city of Toronto and south along the lake shore. Down through Niagara, maybe 10 to 15, but it's going to help us too because our temperatures are going to be so warm today. We're getting up to 9 degrees. It's going to help melt all of those dirty snowbanks. So those little ones that you have at the end of your driveway that you're just tired of looking at, well, they're going to be gone. But we could see some mud. Flooding doesn't look to be an issue this year, which is good. We don't have a ton of moisture coming in the next 7 days. But we do have some cold temperatures. Behind these two systems, we are going to be seeing a drop behind that cold front, and by Friday, we could see a few isolated flurries. Yeah, if you look at the radar, you can see most of the moisture is down towards our south. We're seeing rain in through Windsor, just on the doorstep for London. We've been talking about freezing rain potential. As the sun rises, we've got our temperatures warming. So if we do see anything, it is certainly going to be north of the city, north of the 401. The warning is in place for Guelph and through Cambridge and Kitchener. Waterloo, Milton, Georgetown could see a little bit of freezing drizzle, but for the most part, not a lot of ice accretion. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain on the way from today's system and tomorrow's system, so combined together, not a ton of moisture. We are going to be seeing temperatures cool down, however, behind the cold front, so by Friday morning, we could actually be looking at a few isolated flurries and then temperatures staying below our seasonal average for the weekend. Here's a look at the radar. As you can see, we've got showers coming in from Windsor, as Tom was mentioning. The freezing rain potential is there, and that is why we do have the freezing rain warning in place, because temperatures are hovering around the freezing mark. We are going to be seeing primarily rain throughout Toronto down towards the Hamilton area, but like I said, areas north could see a little bit of freezing drizzle. Now, not a ton of rain. We're looking at about 5 to 10 millimeters for today's system, and that also includes tomorrow's system as well. Temperatures are going to be cooling down significantly behind the cold front, so we may even wake up to some mixing. And then tomorrow evening through the overnight and into Friday, flurries are going to be possible, and we will stay below our seasonal average as we get into the weekend, and we've got a new clipper system arriving throughout the region for Sunday. Thanks for that, Kim. You can always check out more videos on our website, theweathernetwork.com. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network this morning. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, 44 minutes past 8 o'clock. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds, in a fairly good rush hour. Actually, we've had a few little minor problems out on the 401, QEW, but nothing major. And the good news is the rain's held off, so we're looking pretty good.
We've got a look at the radar. You can see rain event for us. And I'm not to say that, those areas that are in the warning are going to see a lot of ice accretion, because they won't. Temperatures are going to be a little bit too warm for that, I think.
Right. So that's all good news.
It is good news, especially for people commuting. Let's check in with Kevin Yard. He joins us in Kitchener this morning. And Kevin, yesterday you were wearing your parka, your scarf, your mitts, your hat, and today, well, you almost look like you could be ready for spring. Thanks so much. I love the word snazzy. My mom used to use that word all the time. Well, you're looking quite snazzy. All right, here's Tom now with an update on traffic. Rain in the forecast, as Kevin was mentioning, about 5 to 10 millimeters for the city of Toronto and in through Hamilton. Down towards Niagara, we could see closer to 15 millimeters. That's just where we're going to get those kind of heavier bands coming through. Cold front moves through tonight. We are going to see our temperatures drop, so tomorrow's rain is going to be a little cold. We're going to be seeing a daytime high of 3 degrees. We could even see a little bit of a transition to mixing, and then on Friday, behind these two systems, we are going to be seeing a cold northerly wind that is going to be bringing us the potential for some isolated flurries, and we stay below seasonal right in through the weekend. Thanks, Kim. You can also catch other editions on our website, so make sure you check them out. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, and temperatures today are better than they were yesterday, and they're only going to go up from here for one day. Kevin Yard joins us live in Kitchener, Ontario this morning. And Kevin, yesterday when we were talking to you in Oakville, you were dressed kind of head to toe for winter. You had your parka on, your mitts, your hat, your scarf, everything. Today must feel a lot more comfortable. All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Yeah, that freezing rain potential is there, and we'll talk more about that coming up. But first, take a look at this amazing video. Talk about brave. This is extreme downhill skiing taken to a whole new level. Look at the size of this little rock crevice he is skiing through. He's going like 110 kilometers an hour or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. But amazing. Full story coming up in less than 10 minutes. Stick around for it. You don't want to miss it. Rainfall amounts, we're looking at about 5 to 10 millimeters throughout much of the GTA. Temperatures will be mild by this afternoon, but because our temperatures will be hovering around the freezing mark for most of the morning, there is that potential, as Kevin was mentioning, for a little bit of freezing drizzle, but we're not worried about any kind of ice accretion. Once the system moves through, cold front moves in, we are going to be seeing cooler temperatures for tomorrow. Setting up another system to our south could certainly brush by us, and we could be setting up for a few isolated flurries by Friday. That was the scariest thing I've ever watched. Guys, so brave. Very cool. Thanks so much, Deb. Now, before we get to our forecast details, let's take a look at this must-see video. Talk about your toilet humor. That joke was just for Tom Reynolds. It works for clearing snow, so let's do it. It's also a hybrid. So he doesn't have to take a break as long as, well, I'm sorry, I can't get over it. I'm Emily Vukovic, by the way. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March, and today is going to be a very mild day. Grab your rain jacket, grab your umbrella. You'll need both. We've got showers on the way, cold front. Now, today, as the system approaches, there is a chance that we could see really, really small amounts of the potential for freezing drizzle throughout areas just north of the 401. It looks as though it's going to stay away from the lakeshore. It'll just be too warm. Once that sun rises, temperatures are just going to keep on climbing, right? Rainfall amounts, we're looking at 5 to 10 millimeters, not only from today's system, but combine that with tomorrow's system. So we've got rain into that warm sector today, lingering showers this afternoon, and then we're going to see that cold front move through this evening, so temperatures will be dropping. Tomorrow's going to be significantly cooler, so some of this Rain could potentially get into a bit of a rain-snow mix by late day Thursday, and then on Friday, because of our cold temperatures and just some lingering moisture, we could see a few isolated flurries throughout the GTA. Temperatures go up and then they go back down again. By the weekend, we are going to be looking at below seasonal values. Saturday in Hamilton, a daytime high of 0. Thanks so much, Jacqueline, and that is a good tie into our forecast today. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It's the 25th of March. Thanks so much for joining us. We do have some freezing rain to talk about, but before I get there, take a look at this. Incredible. Thankfully, nobody was injured. They evacuated the bus once they got stuck. But wow, could you imagine? How frightening. It's good to live in Canada where we don't have issues like that on a common basis. Our forecast today is 9 degrees with rain, but before we get there, we do have the risk of some freezing drizzle, only because our temperatures in the morning hours are going to be kind of hovering around the freezing mark. So, I mean, the sun's coming up, we're seeing some sunshine, temperatures are going to start to rise. So, I mean, it's going to be areas north of the 401. Tonight, however, our temperatures are going to be dropping, and we may wake up to some mixing tomorrow morning because we've got that cold front coming through. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. Toronto down through Hamilton and through the Niagara region could see a little bit more, 10 to 15 millimeters. That not only includes today's system, but tomorrow's system as well. Behind that cold front, this is where we're going to see our temperatures start to drop. New system to our south just skims right by, but could give us a little bit of mixing, not only for the morning, but through the evening hours as well. And then on Friday, any kind of lingering moisture could be falling in the form of flurries. Yeah, it's going to be cold enough. Temperatures are going to stay well below our seasonal average as we get into the weekend. We should be around 6 for this time of year. Friday, we're only going to see a daytime high of -1. Saturday, sunny but cool, and then we stay below seasonal as a clipper system comes in for early next week. Thanks, Kim. If you want to check out more of Kim's videos of Around the World in 60 Seconds, just head to our website, theweathernetwork.com. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March. And before we get to your forecast details, take a look at this must-see video. Normally something that happens in the middle of the night, so pretty spectacular to catch a shot like that when not everyone was sleeping. All right, today we've got a mix of a forecast. We've got rain for the city of Toronto all along the lakeshore. The potential is there for a little bit of freezing drizzle. It's because our temperatures, they're so marginal. I mean, we're hanging out around the freezing mark. So, I mean, you may see it in Kitchener and then see nothing downtown, and it's certainly not going to last very long. We won't see any ice accretion from this, which is good news for the driving. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain, not only from today's system, but that combines tomorrow's system as well. Today, we are going to be very mild into this warm sector. We're looking at a daytime high of 9 degrees. System pushes through. Cold front moves in later on this evening. We are going to be seeing temperatures drop behind this cold front. We're going to be colder tomorrow, about 3 degrees. With this system coming in, mixing certainly a possibility late Tuesday into Tuesday overnight. And by Friday morning, because temperatures are going to be so cold, that lingering moisture could see a few isolated flurries through Toronto. Over the weekend, Saturday, not bad, but we've got a new clipper system coming in for Sunday, 3 degrees, and into Monday, 4 degrees. So again, that potential for mixing is going to be there early next week as well. Incredible. I love bravery like that. I would never imagine in a million years I would do anything like that, but wow, good for him. That's incredible. All right, we'll talk more about your forecast details in just a moment. By the way, I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is the 25th of March. Feeling a lot more spring-like this morning than yesterday. We joined Kevin Yard. He's live in Kitchener this morning. And Kevin, nice to see you not in your parka and toque today. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, there is also a little potential for some freezing drizzle as our temperatures warm up, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. First, take a look at this video. It's pretty spectacular. Thankfully, nobody was injured because, like I said, the bus was evacuated. Now, for us, our forecast today involves above seasonal temperatures, but also the potential for some freezing drizzle early tomorrow morning. Now, this weather pattern map, I know a lot of you aren't thrilled about it. We've got a cold pattern coming in this week. We've got a big dip in the jet stream, a lot of cold Arctic air filtering in. For Thursday, temperatures are going to stay mild throughout the morning hours, but we could see some mixing. Again, that rain snow potential. Frigid with flurries. Oh, I can't even say it right because it hurts my muscles in my mouth to talk about flurries and frigid temperatures. But that's the truth for Friday. And then on Saturday, we'll see some sunshine, but temperatures are going to be staying below our seasonal average. For this time of year, we should be around 6. We're barely going to hit 3 this weekend. On Sunday, becoming windy. We've got a clipper approaching, and it looks as though the beginning of April is staying quite chilly. Driver is okay. You need to be very careful when traveling in slippery sections of the highway. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Wednesday. It is the 25th of March. The reason why I want to bring up slippery sections of highway is because today, even though we're seeing a daytime high of 9 degrees, we do have rain primarily. It is going to be 5 to 10 millimeters in total from today's system, also from tomorrow's system. Cold fronts move through. That's where we're going to see our temperatures dropping this evening through the overnight. Tomorrow, brand new system comes in. We are going to see the potential for mixing to start us off as well as end us through Thursday evening. And then Friday, temperatures are going to be so cold that any kind of lingering moisture could be in the form of flurries. We'll see some sunshine for Saturday, but below seasonal values. And then a new clipper system comes in for early next week. The top states to retire in. The world's largest cave, and moths and ears don't mix. This is News in a Minute. Hey, Canadian snowbirds, listen up. Think Florida and Hawaii are the best places to be for retirees? New research from Bankrate.com suggests Wyoming is the best state to enjoy your retirement. The study looked at several factors, including weather, cost of living, crime rate, tax burden, and health care. Flying through the world's largest cave. Check out this footage of a drone flying through the world's largest cave in Vietnam. A photographer took a drone inside to capture the vastness and the spectacular images from the cave. And lastly, this happened. A Fox News reporter was live on air from the Smithsonian National Museum of History in D.C. when an African moon moth landed on his ear. After the live shot, the reporter found that the moth had actually laid 2 eggs inside his ear. Now that would be when I officially freak out.